Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. Today I want to talk about some news, and I was going to talk about Switch 2 leaks and rumors and everything because there have been a ton, and I do want to talk about that. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. But today I want to talk about something that is just really bugging me, and that is IGN's journalism. I put that in big air quotes here because IGN has been on the downtrend for a very long time. They've been memed to death for their dumb reviews, for docking points for things like too much water in the Omega and Ruby remake games. They give like practically everything a 7 out of 10, even if it's absolute dog water. Like, IGN has become more of a meme than anything nowadays. But back in the day when I was growing up, I used to love IGN reviews. In fact, I would like base my decision on if I was going to buy something based on if I saw a good IGN review of it. I'd also talk with my brother. I do a lot of things, but IGN was one of my big resources for finding good reviews for solid games. And recently they've just been, again, on the downward trend. They just are more of a joke than anything else. But something really caught my attention today, and that is that they posted this new article about how the Switch had passed the PlayStation 2 in overall sales. And I was like, that is news to me. Last I saw, they were like at 146 million. That was the number in my brain, I think, from back in September of this year. So I'm thinking, okay, they've sold another like 14 million units. That's kind of crazy because recently Sony came out and adjusted their PlayStation 2 overall sales. They said, hey, it was in like the 155 million plus range. We have clarified it is 160 million units sold. So they have given that definitive number, probably to try and boost their own thing, to keep themselves at the top, to be honest. But Nintendo Switch is very close behind and probably will outsell it ultimately. It's been on the downward trend in terms of sales, but I think it still has a really good shot at eclipsing that. 14 million in the grand scheme of things isn't that big of a stretch, especially if they keep selling it into the Switch 2 life cycle, and I think that they absolutely will. But IGN reports on this, and they give a clickbait title, because of course they do, because they're saying that it has overtaken the PlayStation 2 in like US sales total. So it's become the second best-selling console of all time in the United States, just behind the Nintendo DS. The way that they frame it, though, it looks like they're saying that it's just the overall globally second, the now eclipsed the PS2, and that somehow the DS is the best-selling console of all time. So it's just really poorly worded. The way that they've done everything here with the clickbait title, it just suggests something that is absolutely not true. Now, I don't mind clickbait titles. I do it myself in some of my YouTube videos. I'm not against that. I think that's just part of the internet culture nowadays. But the fact that they did this and then made it so misleading in that at least the first couple paragraphs is just so stupid. But even worse than that, they have a very egregious typo where they say that 46 million units have been sold from the Nintendo Switch since its launch. Obviously, that's wrong. It's 146 million, and that's since September. I'm sure the numbers are better now, like all the way into December of this year, but they're reporting on a number back in September, and they don't even report it right. Even worse, it's been perpetuated by other like news sources trying to jump on the bandwagon that are clearly just ripping that number straight from IGN's article, because I've seen multiple ones say that 46 million unit. They didn't even take the time to proofread it. Like, it's so bad. And again, I understand in the field of journalism here, you have to get stuff out kind of fast. You want to like really capture the people's attention as quickly as possible. But in this instance, it's just incredibly sloppy. The first few paragraphs are really poorly worded. They don't say globally. They don't say in the US. They just made it really poorly, at least when I first read it. If they have updated it now and changed the things, good for them. I'm glad that they did. But I saw this perpetuated multiple things because of their initial article. It's just so stupid to see. Globally, the PlayStation 2 is still the best-selling console of all time at 160 million units now, clarified. The Nintendo DS is somewhere in the 154 million unit range, and the Switch is trailing by approximately 8 million units behind the Nintendo DS, and then another, a total 14 behind the behind the PlayStation 2, excuse me here. But this is just a nothing burger of an article here. This number is way back in September, so it doesn't really capture the total sales as of right now, and they were really sloppy in getting it out. They clickbaited the heck out of you. Like, they did so much wrong in this article. It just really kills my enthusiasm, because I still get on IGN. I still read reviews every now and again just to see what they have to say about it, because sometimes you'll get a really good review reviewer who like types out a really well-written review. It's clear that they played the game, they had a really good time with it, or they really didn't have a good time with it. But I see the exact same things going over and over again. These crappy reviews, these 7 out of 10s for everything, including stuff like the Halo TV show. Like you'll see like a movie that has an awful score on every other site, every other news site ever, and they've given it a 6 or a 7 somehow. It's just so silly. And so when you see something like a 5 or all the way down to like a 3, that means it's the worst thing of all time for IGN standards, because everything else is a 7 or a 6 at the worst. It's just so stupid to see. I love the like gaming journalism as a concept. I mean, my channel is kind of that. I do like very light journalism here. I just report on things that I read about. I do little reviews. I like that style, and I got inspired by stuff like IGN, like GameSpot back in the day. I really liked those review websites and made me really excited about games. I had like a little like mini dream of applying for IGN and working for them as a game reviewer. I thought that'd be so cool. But nowadays it's just what are they even doing over there? I don't understand. I'll get on their site and I'll scroll through stuff and I go, wow, yep, there's nothing here. It's just a bunch of nonsense, or just a bunch of misreporting, or just a bunch of typos. It's just, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below if you were a fan of IGN or these old like GameSpot and stuff, these old journalism websites, and if you can see the decline. If there are any other ones I'd love to hear about, because I'm just so sick and tired of getting on these sites and just seeing the same old drivel over and over again, and seeing stuff like this just really puts me out. So if you have any other ones, other suggestions, I'd love to hear from them. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.